Hello everyone. Welcome to this channel Jikook universe. In this video we will discuss something interesting and definitely a shame to miss. Come on, watch until the end. There is something quietly extraordinary about the way Jimin and Jungkook exist around each other. Something so subtle, yet so powerful, that it doesn't need to be declared to be understood. From the early days of BTS to their most recent public appearances, the bond between them has only deepened. It's not loud or boastful. It whispers in the way they move, in the way they look at each other when the world isn't supposed to notice, in the spaces between their words where silence speaks volumes. Over the years, fans have witnessed countless moments that speak to the closeness they share. Not dramatic, not grand, but intimate, genuine, and impossibly tender. One of the most memorable was during Jin's solo concert. Jimin and Jungkook attended together, and something about the way they enjoyed that night stood out. They weren't just watching a performance. They were completely in sync, moving to the rhythm of the music as if their bodies responded to the same invisible current. Their glances, the way they smiled at one another, the ease of their laughter. It all felt effortless. It was as if they existed in a world of their own, within the noise of the crowd, wrapped in their own quiet joy. This sense of harmony isn't limited to concerts. It shows up again and again, during award shows, behind-the-scenes clips, casual vlogs, and especially in live broadcasts. In one recent live, the atmosphere between them was electric in the softest way imaginable. From the very beginning, there was a warmth that filled the space around them. Jimin sat close to Jungkook as though distance between them didn't feel natural. Throughout the live, he reached out with small, gentle gestures. A touch on the arm, a brush of his hand, a light graze across Jungkook's shoulder. These weren't random or thoughtless. They were purposeful in their softness, revealing a comfort and affection so sincere that it needed no words. And Jungkook, always attuned to Jimin's presence, responded in kind. He smiled with the kind of warmth that comes not from performance, but from familiarity, from years of understanding another person beyond what's seen. During that live, they hugged, teased each other, and moved around one another with the grace of two people who knew exactly where the other would be without even looking. It was as if they were communicating in a private language of gestures, glances, and shared silences. There's something especially telling in the way they often forget the camera is there. That perhaps is what makes their bond so compelling. They don't try to prove anything. They don't put on a show. They simply are. Jimin leans into Jungkook naturally, laughing without restraint. Jungkook finds small, quiet ways to make Jimin smile. Not always with jokes, sometimes just by being near. Their closeness isn't loud. It's lived in. It feels like something built over time, weathered by experience, and strengthened in the quiet hours no one else sees. Even in mundane, everyday moments, their care for each other shines through. Like that time they were eating pizza and Jimin struggled to cut a slice. Jungkook, without hesitation, reached over and helped him. Not just to be helpful, but because he didn't want Jimin to hurt himself. It was such a small act. But it's in those tiny, instinctive decisions that love reveals itself. Not in grand declarations, but in the way someone anticipates your needs before you voice them. Shows like Are You Sure? Feeling Under the Weather. It all tells a story. One episode showed Jimin clearly drained and Jungkook took over completely, cooking, watching over him, never once leaving him alone. There was no need for words, no big explanation. He simply stayed. And still there are those who question it, who say it's fan service, but a reality. Their bond goes far beyond the stage. In interviews, in rehearsals, even while waiting in the background of a shoot, Jimin straightens Jungkook's clothes. Jungkook offers him drinks or catch glimpses of their quiet support. Jimin making sure Jungkook is centered, or Jungkook leaning into Jimin with a whispered comment that makes him smile. These aren't rehearsed. They're habits formed from years of knowing one another, of carrying each other through the highs and lows of life in the spotlight. And in constant, quiet choices. In the way they've always come back to one another, even when surrounded by others. In the way they've built something solid not through announcements but through time. Even in their earliest videos you can see it. Jungkook, still new to the spotlight, often looked to Jimin for reassurance. And Jimin, always attentive, stood beside him. Sometimes saying nothing, sometimes just smiling. That dynamic hasn't faded. It's grown. It's matured into something deeper, stronger, balanced. It's not something that changes depending on the setting. Whether they're on tour, filming a show, or simply sitting in a car, the essence of what they are to each other remains intact. They choose each other again and again, not with words but with actions. Every time Jimin softly reaches for Jungkook without hesitation. Every time Jungkook looks out for Jimin in a crowd. Every moment they walk side by side, not because they have to but because they want to. This isn't about proving anything. It's about being present, being genuine, being together. And for those willing to really see them, not through the lens of expectation, but through the truth they quietly show, what you'll find is not a spectacle, but a relationship that's been built gently, patiently, honestly. It's in the details. In the way Jimin leans closer without realizing. In the way Jungkook smiles when Jimin speaks. In the way they sit in silence and somehow say everything. It's not fiction. It's not fantasy. It's real. And more than anything, it's theirs. Thank you for accompanying the sweet story of Jimin and Jungkook today. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss their next special moment. See you in the next video, Jikookers.